Hello, Mark Watson. Hang on. Hello, Mark Watson here. I am performing in London's West End at the Ambassador Theatre with my show. It's the Ambassador's Theatre, never mind, fuck it. Hello. Wait a minute. Hello, I am Mark Watson. I will be presenting my show, Search, in London's spectacular West End. The final ever London performance at the Ambassador's Theatre on Friday, the 20th of September. Please come and watch me perform. Just let this bike go by. Tickets online. Welcome back in England to... Yes, how can I help? In this 14th outing, we take a look at various subjects.
You've had a haircut.
Sorry, yes, I should have said. I've had a haircut. In this 14th outing, we take a look at various... my hairdresser's Japanese, and we don't communicate that well, but it can be really awkward if you have to talk too much to a hairdresser, so actually, it was about right. We found out that she'd been to Barcelona, and then just sort of got on with it in silence. Companionable silence. I think Makoto enjoyed it. The subjects this week, and by the way, if you've had a question unanswered over the past 2 or 3 weeks, we do, as usual, have a backlog, so there'll be a roundup of those in the next episode. For now, though, trees, accidents, mysteries, things like that, pasta, hobbies, and other business. As always, Alex will set 10 minutes on the clock. As ever, he won't quite be ready to do that, though. And we think this is going to be... if you watch the Edinburgh episodes, you'll know that Alex, in particular, underwent a lot of personal danger during... Oh, by the way, various people have suggested that I should leave my hair alone or stop tugging at the forelocks at least, or use a Kirby grip. I've at least made steps in the right direction by having a haircut, so there shouldn't be quite as much hair interference in this episode. It's quite quiet because it's just been pouring with rain, so we're hopeful, although there are no guarantees, that this will be a safer outing for Alex after some very stressful ones during Edinburgh. The questions then, and if you've not watched this series before, basically this is a sort of ChatGPT or AI type function, except instead of a computer, it's me reclaiming humanity, reclaiming knowledge for humanity. How long would a piece of spaghetti need to be before you'd really start to question it? I think, yeah, obviously when you have a bowl of something like bolognese or a plate, but I prefer a bowl.
A bolognese.
Thank you, Alex. You're not completely sure, you know, how many individual bits of spaghetti are in there. I think if I got the first one on my fork, and it just kept on coming and coming and coming, and eventually I realised, it dawned on me that the entire bolognese, the entire portion, was just based on one strand of spaghetti. I think at that point I would question it. I think I'd use a phrase like, and I'm sorry for this phrase, how the fuck has that happened? Another spaghetti question. Spaghetti was a food that the late Queen Elizabeth refused to eat. I didn't know this, for fear of bringing the kingdom into disrepute. Are there any foods you refuse to eat for fear of looking a right Burke? Well, even in the past half hour in the office, I've had the chastening experience.
That's a fun word.
Thank you, Alex. This man's moving at quite a pace on the bike.
Look at him.
He almost got a bike mentioned there. Not quite though, because we don't do that for bikes, but that was a fast bike. Did choose to either bikes. Most people, the chastening experience of dunking a chocolate biscuit in the cup of tea and dropping it in there. So I will now be serving a self-inflicted ban on dunking biscuits in tea for I'd say the 6 months to come. So from now until after Christmas, I won't be dunking any more biscuits in tea. I should add, every time I see myself eating spaghetti, I think I also should not do that, in terms of how inelegant it is. But of course, I don't often see myself eating spaghetti because I'm not having my dinner in front of a mirror, because I am not a weirdo.
And they don't serve spaghetti at Wagamama's.
I don't always eat in Wagamama's, Alex.
No, but they've got mad mirrors there. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I thought you were accusing me of
Pizza Express, though.
Being over keen on Wagamama, which is a possible accusation you can level at me. Alex used to work at Wagamama, everyone. That's not what we got.
Don't buy my bosses.
We don't just go around looking for waiters and offering them production jobs.
But that did happen once.
It happened once. In the spirit of other business, if number 1 is a wee and number 2 is a poo, what's numbers 3, 4 and 5? So very simply, 3 is the accumulation of wee and poo, but also ejaculating at the same time. 4 is when you get that thing that you see in films sometimes where you get so angry that you throw all of your husband or wife's possessions out of the top window of a house. And 5 is dropping an atomic bomb on a civilian area during a war. So that's why you don't hear about numbers 3, 4 and 5 as much, because people don't like to talk about 3 and 4 and 5 are just rare occurrences. Why have things stopped disappearing into the Bermuda Triangle? Has it satisfied its anger with the world, or is it lurking there, waiting? And someone else separately has asked, Bermuda Triangle a real thing or nah? Yes, the Bermuda Triangle is a real thing. I have flown through it myself. Obviously wasn't in charge of the aeroplane. And in answer to your question, the Bermuda Triangle has been having a little bit of a break from swallowing up aeroplanes and other human craft, but it is planning, and I shouldn't really reveal this, just one more huge hit. At some point in the next few years, and you can bookmark this, this is the sort of thing that I know because I have access to all the world's knowledge. The Bermuda Triangle is going to vaporise something really enormous. Could be a plane, could be just loads and loads of birds. Anyway, you haven't heard the last of the Bermuda Triangle, and when it comes out, when the news comes out, remember this. And just do be careful in the Bermuda region generally. What is the absolute worst hobby? Leaving negative comments about stuff online. What penalties should there be when you discover that the toilet roll has been installed so it dispenses on the wall side whilst doing your other business? So again, someone's gone for the sort of Lavatorial theme for other business. My view is that the question of which way the toilet roll is hung is not as important as people seem to think, because however the toilet roll is aligned, and a bike coming right down the middle here, Alex, so we'll just
puddle dodge. Ooh.
Regardless of how the toilet roll is hung, you should be able to do the necessary maths to wipe your ass, and it's sort of on you, not the hanger, if you aren't able to do that. How come some trees are red? They just are. That's just how it goes. Some cars are red. Chill out. If you could invent a new perfect pasta dish, what would it include? I do think it's mayo.
Come on.
But barrier,
Whoa.
crash barrier.
Oh!
Very nearly into a crash barrier there from Alex.
Dodged it though.
Yeah,
But did not know it was there.
It's ironic if the crash barrier is the thing that caused you to crash, wouldn't it? Well, all right. So mayo aside, I do have an idea for a pasta dish, which is basically a sort of a sheet of pasta, then a sheet of a layer of bechamel sauce, then a layer of bolognese sauce.
You're gonna put bechamel at the bottom.
And then another sheet, and then another layer, and you carry on like that. And then I would bake that in a sort of bowl, and
And then add cheese on top.
add cheese to taste on top. Yes. And I think if someone gives that a chance, we could have a major new dish on our hands. Time, please, Alex.
4 minutes. It's been 4 minutes the last 3 or so times.
Yeah, I've started to slightly slip in terms of...
You haven't done your 5 spots in a while.
It's true. Why are there no really, really big trees in this part of the world? Now, do you mean this part of the world, I wonder?
Because there really isn't.
Well, I mean, that's...
I mean, it's alright.
How big do you want a tree to be? But you mean like these massive American ones?
Yeah.
Is it true we just don't have trees of that size in general in this country?
Chopped them down.
I think it can only be because things are just generally bigger in America, and we maybe don't. Yeah, also that's the thing, our country's really old. We've probably chopped down some absolute zingers. Having said that, I saw a tree recently which was, there's no other word for it, a cedar tree, and it was, there's no other word for this, actually there is, huge. I was going to use the F-bomb, but I've done that once already, and some people don't like swears. This will be controversial. Why do British people insist on pronouncing pasta with the first A, like the one in Apple, so pasta, rather than correctly with the A's like the ones in Mark Watson? So I think they're saying we should be saying pasta rather than pasta. So you will be an Australian, I think, or perhaps an American or South African, or something like that. Now, there are quite a large portions of the world where they do say pasta, and it always comes as a surprise. And I don't know that it is correct to do that, because if you listen, it's an Italian word, and surely Italians say pasta. They don't say pasta. So I think, actually, the questioner is wrong, and all people who say pasta do need to have a look at themselves, and arguably shouldn't be allowed to eat it. There's a bike coming up just behind, and we'll just shimmy there. An absolute look of thunder from that man. That man might have a sort of rainbow logo on his hat, but his face was very far from a rainbow. There was no pot of gold at the end of that man. And actually, if I hadn't steered Alex out of the way, there would have been a crash there. So rather than glowering at me, that man ought to have expressed some gratitude. I'm sick and tired of people taking for granted, not you, not the viewers, but the local fans don't get behind Yes, How Can I Help as much as you would think. Nonetheless, even by the standards of people around here, that was the shittiest look we've had. Garlic mayo instead of pasta sauce, or nah. Look.
As a mayo defender.
Listen, more than a mayo defender, big mayo man. But instead of pasta sauce, I think it's nah. I don't think they're like for like. I love mayo, if anything, too much to have it dumped on my pasta. Mystery. Is it possible that animals can read? They just can't talk to tell us what they've read. No, I don't think a bear can read. I'm having a think about it. I'm trying to think about all the animals. I don't think a frog can read. I don't think a cat can read. Actually, it could be a cat. We're in a tunnel, by the way. Maybe a cat, because cats are sneaky. I don't think a hog can read. If you could solve one mystery, which one would it be? Mystery ranging from unsolved murders to unexplained phenomena and things like existence of aliens, etc. I'd stay well away from murders because it might be traumatising to find out those answers, and also I don't want to do a podcast that much.
50 seconds.
Oh, fuck. Well, aliens then, yeah. I'd love to definitively know if there are aliens and where they are, and then I'd reveal it in a book, and it would be a bestseller. I'd become popular. What tweak would you make to trains if you were overlord for the day? As well as upgrading yourself to first class for a fee, you'd be able to downgrade passengers from first class to standard if you didn't like them. 95% of the universe is invisible, brackets dark, stroke unknown. But what's really going on there? All sorts of stuff that we just can't, unfortunately, see. How the hell do they move those massive stones to build Stonehenge? How? They just got up really early in the morning and made the start. Same as if you're moving house. Do you think trees are sentient beings? Also, do they have the ability to communicate with each other through root systems or other crazy ways? Some people say trees can talk to each other. Until recently, I didn't think trees were sentient.
And that's time.
But then I saw one opening a new account in a branch of Nationwide Building Society. So now I think trees are sentient, yes. That's all we've got time for, and it has left us with a few really nice unanswered questions, which is, there's the forelock, which is the nature, of course, of Yes, How Can I Help? There are always strands left untied, always unfinished business. As I have promised, though, we will come back to quite a lot of questions that are, I said sloshing about once and you didn't like it. We will come back to some questions in the next episode.
Sloshing about what's horrible.
You've got a real thing about the word slosh, haven't you?
Why have you got to say it like that?
I'm sorry. I can't help how I say slosh. I'm just a guy that puts his trousers on.
And sloshes his way to work.
Some quite sort of vocal young people over there, but young people are full of energy, so that's all right. Please do keep the questions coming. The next couple will probably not come from Twitter. They will come from these comments. So, as always, please leave questions in your comments. You may also interact with, as they say, the content in any way that you see fit. On a personal note, it's a bit of a milestone, this. 14 episodes, the big 1-4. Just one sleeve like that, one sleeve like that now. Not really satisfactory. They're both down again now. So thank you for getting us to the 14. May there be 28, 42, 56 and 70 and so on. And 84.
Oh,
eventually 98.
times tables.
Yes, 112.
What's 14 squared? Go.
I don't think that matters.
196.
You are. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, please interact. Subscribe if you haven't already, and so forth. And we'll see you next time on heavy jumper, by the way, this. Yes, How Can I Help? You have been helped by me, Mark Watson, and Alex Preston behind the camera.